It's about 7:25 a.m. on this TGIF, the 3rd of October, 2025. And if you're watching this live or post-live, the title definitely says it all, if you will. The title says it all. Basically, today, my season at the distributing center I was at pretty much came to an end. And if you want to know what the distributing center was, I'll just put it this way. It starts with a K. It starts with a K, and it is the distributing center of one of the bigger retailers in the land. Not just one of the bigger retailers in the land, folks, but also, as I check something here for a second. Hold on for a second, guys. I just want to check something. I think this is all, yeah, there. Just making sure people are watching. But yeah, it is distributing center of one of the bigger retailers in the land, but apparently a retailer that has had financial problems. In fact, some stores have closed across this state and other states. And the same with distributing centers. Some distributing centers have closed too. And you're probably wondering what happened. Well, you know how I've been saying that this return has been kind of unusual, kind of weird? Well, this is the icing on the cake of weirdness. It is. It is the icing on the cake. Because yesterday, they offered voluntary time off, VTO. And not only do they offer VTO and everything, but they offer it towards, the end of the day, almost an hour and a half before we clock out. And I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. Others that started with me on my first season there that have become permanent thought it was cool too. Go home, relax, come back the next day. Little did I know that would be the last VTO I would take. That'd be the last one. And not only would it be the last one, but I should have known that something was up yesterday. I should have known something was up yesterday when I look on this big LCD TV, which they have connected to the computer. And on it, it has me in shipping. So I'm thinking, good, I'm going to go to shipping. No, I find out, hey, I'm going to give your doors to a new person we want to train. You're going to go straight to stripping. Okay, I go straight to stripping. But then not even 10, 15, 20 minutes in, I get told, you and some others got to go to tote making. So I go to tote making. And then not even 15 to 20 minutes after that, I get told, oh, no, you're not going to tote. We don't need you in tote making anymore. We need you to do EAS tagging. We need you to do electronic tagging. Put the tags on the clothes. That's what I do. And I'm figuring, I go in today, look at that screen, and I see my name up there in tagging. I'm thinking, good, I can go to tagging. That's going to keep me out of trouble. Well, at least trouble that they see that I get into. So I go there. Well, I don't go there. I'm about to go there, but then I get spotted by the first shift manager. And the first shift manager basically says, come talk to me. Come talk to me. And I'm thinking, okay, I know what this is going to lead to. It's a conduct, second write-up. Okay, no problem. I get it. I'll just explain to them there, hey, let me be in another department, less trouble, right? Nope. Instead, they decide to terminate me. They decide to terminate me and let me go. Now, you might ask, why? Why would they let you go? Well, and I do apologize for that notification there. That was what was that? Let me check. That was just that was a Gmail right there, an email Gmail. But let me explain why they terminated me. You see, on my UKG, it states description-wise that I am a stripper, not stripper, but I work in the stripping department. I strip trailers, and thus by default I also work in the, I'm going to say it, I work in the Amazon returns. That's right. I work in the Amazon returns via stripping, but mostly stripping. But what do they have me in most of the time? They have me in shipping. They have me in shipping all because they need people to do shipping. And I'm thinking, no problem, I can do this. I've done it before, I can do this. I helped out at times last year. I did some, the previous year. I can do this, and I've proven I'm good. But for some odd, forsaken reason, for some odd, forsaken reason, not only do they put me in shipping, but for some, like I said, for some odd, forsaken reason, I'm so angry, but there's also a silver lining. There's also a silver lining. You see, I'm so angry that I can't form words, but there's a silver lining. But like I said, for some odd reason, if you will, they decide, to keep an eye on me, and I'm certain others. They decide to keep an eye on me, and I'm sure many others. As I just checked something here for a second, folks. But yeah, they decide to keep an eye on me and some others. And why? Why do they decide to keep an eye on me and others? Why is that? What? Because our build quality may not be up to snuff? Is that it? Or is it maybe they're just looking for a way to cut the cut the slack, or cut the meat, cut the fat, if you will. Well, that's exactly what happened. Because, and here's where you know things were effed up, if you will. Here's where you know things were effed up. And by the way, super chats are open, guys. That'd be greatly appreciated now, since my situation has changed, not for the better, but it will get better, Lord willing. God and the Lord Jesus Christ is going to make a way. But the point I'm getting at, but yeah, super chats are open. Greatly appreciated if you could do that. But the point is this. I'm put in shipping, okay? I am put in shipping. And like I said, I figure I can do this, right? Because I've done it before. But apparently, the first shift manager wants perfection. That's what he wants. He wants perfection. He wants perfection when no one can give perfection. Even those that have been doing it longer than I have cannot give perfection. And I'm thinking, after yesterday, he gives this speech, and I thank God he gave this speech, addressing that situation to everybody. That my friend would be the start of everybody, would be the start of him hopefully getting the idea that I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that needs help when it comes to doing walls. Okay? I'm not the only one. But for some odd reason, for some odd, God-forsaken reason, he decides to, and forgive me, and God, forgive me for saying this, Lord, forgive me for saying this, but it felt like I was being targeted. I don't know why. And you know what was crazy? It was crazy. There are people that said that, from what they've heard, there are people that said that I had a better production, better tally, in production than certain other people. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's from what I've heard. That's from what I've heard. And the thing is, I don't even see those other people, on the wall, on the LCD screen anymore. It makes me wonder what happened. Point is, I felt like I was targeted. I don't know why. But like I said, when I went to stripping, I would do stripping or Amazon returns, that is. Or I'd go and do some other things like tagging. I'd be fine. I would be absolutely fine. But it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough, no. It wasn't good enough for this individual or anybody else. Well, mostly for him. And what's crazy is he does this when the head person in charge of the entire place, who likes me, she likes me a lot. She likes people that I know there. He does this when she is not there. He does this before she even clocks in. And I'm sure when word gets around to her of what he did, she sees my name. She's going to talk to him. I have the feeling God is giving me this feeling that she is going to see my name on those, because she's got to see it, on those termination papers, and she's going to talk to him, and she's going to ask him what happened. Why did you let him go? He seemed to be doing all right. He seemed to be happy to be here. Why let him go? I'm sure I know God's going to get that. I know God's going to make that happen. And when it does, and if there's no other option, and I'm able to, because I have, like anybody, we have the emails. Yeah. We have the emails. We can talk to them directly. And I can ask her straight out to give me another shot. And to put me in an area that I know I can succeed at. It's just one of those situations. This is one of those situations where I'm like, why even hire people work if you're going to keep an eye on them like a hawk? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if it's seasonal or permanent. You're supposed to give them a certain amount of days. I guess seasonal is kind of like freaking NXT releases. When somebody gets released from NXT, WWE-wise, they have 30 days. I guess that's what it is here. You got a 30-day watch. And if you don't improve, goodbye. It's like, I don't know. And then he points out that I've had issues the year before. Look, the thing is, you don't go by people's weaknesses, you go by the strengths. You hide the negatives, you focus on the positives. And all I'm going to say is this. This first shift manager, there's an old saying, God forgive me for saying this, Lord forgive me for saying this, but there's an old saying that karma is a B-I-C-T-H. It is a B-I-C-T-H. And it's going to come bite him in the rear. Because you know why? We have a new supervisor on first shift. And there are certain others on first shift that are in a supervisory role that people like, that are willing to help, that don't judge. And something tells me. Something is telling me now. And I do apologize for that. Let me check my notifications for that. But something is telling me right now that those people, those people, the people like, that are willing to help, something tells me one of them is going to take his position. They are. Because like I said, karma is a B-I-T-C-H, and I don't wish anything upon anybody, but I hope he gets an understanding of karma that makes him realize maybe he was too much in a hurry to get rid of me. Because I am sick. Because here's the thing, I am one of the most loyal individuals you can have in any company. You hire me on, I will do what I can to help. That's why I lasted so long that's why I lasted so long at Wally World, okay? At the Walmart. For as long as I did. That's why I lasted for over a year. Over at the rival. I am loyal. I can do things. I can set things right. I'm a person that learns from his mistakes. And I'm going to make this perfectly clear. I'm going to make it perfectly clear right now. Okay? This is not the end of my employment career, no. As I alluded to in the description, a new chapter will begin. I have an email that tells me, hey, a front-end position is available at a store in Turlock. It's not the one I was at before, but it's across the street. I looked at that and I said, good, I'm going to try for that. I'm going to be there, try for it, and do the very best I can. It's like my family says, God has a reason for things happening. And this is a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. Because my ride is going to be out for a while after this week. Taking out for a while due to medical leave. My ride. They're going to be out for a while. For a long-term medical leave. And that's all I'm saying. But the point is this. The point is this. You know, if you have an issue with people being there, if you have an issue, with people trying to improve and showing that improvement and maybe feeling threatened, perhaps maybe you're not meant for that field either. I'm going to tell you something right now. And I'm going to say this kindly. I'm going to say this as best as I can. You never say never. Just because you might get terminated doesn't mean it's the end of the world for you. Because you know why? At the end of the day, they have no choice but to take you back if they need help. If they see that you used to work for them, if they see that you used to work for them, and you have experience and they have no other choice, they will take you back. And that time will come. There are others, I guarantee, out there that were terminated, that were brought back. They were brought back due to the fact that these companies needed help. And it's going to happen again. And when it comes to this job, putting people like me in shipping that probably haven't done it before, we have done it before, I should say. But for some of us that have done it before, but we do it in our own way, for you to put us in those positions, again, for those that haven't done it before, those that have done it before, you put us in those positions, you should expect the fact that, yes, we're going to pick up on what you're saying. We're going to pick up on what you're saying. That. We're going to pick up on what you're saying. And not only we're going to pick up on what you're saying, but we're going to do it in a way that's similar to what you're asking, if not done in a way that's more unique to us. Because we understand the safety issues. We understand all of that. And yet, you people out there, they want perfection. There's no such thing as perfection. You're not asked to be perfect. And in fact, that's what they told us in orientation. We're not asking you to be perfect. You know, there's a thing called a quota. And a quota basically is to meet to a certain limit. And if you overdo that quota, you got no one but yourself to blame. They didn't meet that. They overmet that quota, and now they're paying for it. They offer so much VTO, it's not funny. More so than they should at the beginning. And that right there, as I've alluded to, was a sign that something was different. Something was wrong. Something was off. Now you might say well, Brian, now there's no way you can go back. That's where you're wrong. Because seasonal is different from permanent. If I ever had to go back for seasonal, there's no doubt they would take me back. Heck, I might even try to talk to the manager, see what she can do. Because I'm trying my best. And if the manager comes out and says, hey, Brian, I hear you. I'll get you. You can come back. And she says, I'll make sure you're in an area that's, not that's not shipping, that you can pick up on and be safe. Be safe in. Then so be it. It just felt like one of those. It felt like one of those situations where it's like, this probably wasn't the year to go back. Probably wasn't. But I needed money. My unemployment runs out. My unemployment runs out early. There's not much I can do. Not much I can do. I have to wait till next year, to next April. And what's crazy is I still need to pay to get my teeth fixed, my teeth finished. I have other things to take care of. And I thought even temporarily this could be a solution. But it wasn't. But where one door closes, another one opens. And as I said earlier, there's a place in Turlock that's opening its doors. And I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for that place. I'm going to apply. And if I get in, then I will not be unemployed for long. So pray I get into there, or I get into this place right up the street, this coffee facility. Because either way, I will be employed once again. I will be employed once again. I will not be waiting as long as I was before. But to me, this felt like the most unusual off year I've ever seen. And I guarantee you, when my ride gets back from their medical leave, which will be around next year, they're going to probably hear stories of, man, we could have used some help, but they let go of people quit. It's going to be a very unique situation. And like I said, I don't wish, badness. I don't wish badness over anybody. But karma is a bitch. And what's going to happen with this first shift manager, as I mentioned earlier, is he might end up being demoted, or he might be ousted as well. Because you think I'm the only one he's looking at, he's targeting? Someone that I thought was complimentary of the shirts I would wear. But no, it's all a lie. yeah, he did wish me the best of luck on my next journey. But here's the thing. There's better ways to just, let people know you're not cut out to be here, instead of just outright firing them. And then doing it when the certain somebody that likes you, who actually happens to run the place, is not there. It's hard. It's hard. But you know what? I'm not going to let it get me down. Because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I will be back employed. I will be back on my feet again. And if it's back there, it'll be a miracle. And God will provide a way. But yeah, it's abruptly come to an end. And that's all I can really say. But thank you all for listening. It's like I said, it's just been one of those weird years. And it's ironic that this all happens a week before my ride goes on the medical leave. So I want to thank you guys for listening and supporting me. Pray I find something real quickly. And also do me a favor. Like the video. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Get the word out there about my channel. Let them know about the BW Rosas channel. Let them tune in and see what I have to offer. Also, click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere. You can find me on all these outlets, including Spotify. Help me out there. Help me get to a point I can make money off of that. And also, guys, go to my new Fourth Wall store. I got one piece of merchandise there and everything. But there will be more to come, especially now. So click on that, as well as click on the original Teespring store at the bottom. Its link is at the bottom, I should say, to get merchandise you can't get anywhere else. But guys, I just wanted to come on here and do this, let you know what's happening, or what's happened, and the change that's currently going to be happening for the time being, but not permanently, because God's got my back, and I'm going to be heading straight for the T-Town once again. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below. Let me know if any of you have dealt with something like this in the past. And until then, I'm out.